All right, here it is, the COBRA 29 LTD Classic installed in the van. So I'm going to go ahead and walk through how I did this. This is the manual, the COBRA manual 29 LTD AM FM series professional CB radio. Picked this one up on Amazon a while back and finally decided to go ahead and see if I could install this into the van. And I just kind of went through the directions here just to make sure I was doing everything I needed to do. So let's just do that, mounting and connection. So the first thing to do is mount the radio with the mounting bracket in the exact desired location. If there's no interference, remove the bracket and use it as a template to mark the location for the mounting screws, and then drill holes secure the bracket. So this is what the bracket looks like. This is a one that is an extra one, and it comes with a couple of screws that go on the sides, and also comes up with some screws that you would screw into these holes here. And the way the bracket works is, well, I put it on top here like this. So found the right spot, leaving plenty of room behind for your antenna cable and your power cable. I almost didn't leave enough room. I didn't realize how thick this thing was. It barely fit in there, but it did fit. This guy, you'll find the perfect spot, line it up, make sure it's straight, take a marker or something, and you can put a couple of dots there. And where you can go then grab your screws. And if you need to screw them in first or drill, you can. This ceiling was, I could just take a screwdriver and I was able, because the screws are pointing, and I was able to just get them in with some force, and it was in there nice and nice. So once that's in there, it's pretty simple to just put the CB radio. Here's an old CB radio just as an example, and it's pretty common sense. You're going to unscrew these two guys here. You can do, if they're already in there, you can do that with a flathead, and then this will go in and it'll just screw in, and it'll also swivel a little bit. So you can swivel a little bit, and like mine is kind of like in there tight, so this thing's affecting it. But normally you'll be able to swivel it, get it where you want, tighten it up, loosen it a little on these sides here, and that's how we're going to mount the baby. Let's connect the antenna cable plug to the receptacle marked ANT on the back of the unit. So that's where we're going to plug in this, and what came with it was this kind of thick antenna cable. It's not super long, and normally going to have to connect something else to it. I had to connect an antenna to it. My antenna is running here. I got it running in through here, out through here, and then to connect it here, I put some tape just to secure it. But I had to use some adapter, an adapter, and there's a whole bunch of kinds. So I ordered a whole bunch on Amazon. I didn't know which one I needed. That wire was already in the van, so I didn't really want to change it out. This was already here, and the antenna is at the top of the van from the previous owner. So I kept this here, just ran, but I did run it through here, up through here, and then we got the connection, and it goes over there. And I'll show you later how to test to see if your antenna is working. At least what I believe was my test, and it passed. I was super happy about that I didn't have to install a different antenna. But now for power. Connect the red lead of the DC power cord to an accessory 12-volt fuse or directly to the battery. And the black side to a negative side of the vehicle electrical system is usually the chassis. Any convenient location with a good electrical contact, remove paint may be used. I'll show you what I did. For this vehicle, I just kind of run it right up through here. I took out these screws. Actually, I need to tighten this one, screw back up. I ran it through here, both of these, the red and the black, and they come out through here, into here. It's kind of hidden. You can see they come out here, and right here, that's a ground right there. It's white because the black one cable wasn't long enough, so I spliced in a white electrical cable here. That's the ground, and we spliced in a white electrical cable here. You see the red, it turns white, and it's going where? It's going down here, going down under here. I need to change all this. And it's actually going, you can see it right there, it's going in under the dog door here. And then I try to just bring it through where it wouldn't be touching anything hot, so it's not going to get burned or anything. Use some zip ties to put it in the right place, and tape or whatever. You can see it ends up right here, and it comes up along here and down here to where the battery. And I didn't plug it straight to the battery. Plugged it into here where I knew there was voltage. Right there is getting the 12 volts it needs. I don't know if that's ideal. Let me know if you know something better, but it is getting the 12 volts. And the van's running great. I took it for a long test drive, tried out the CB radio, and it seems to be doing okay. So kind of directly to where the battery voltage is, and I think we're fine. Then of course plug the power cable into the back, which I did. Power cable plugged in. Make sure you have enough room and everything, and it'll reach up here and plug in and you have enough room to get it where it needs to go, to the ground and to the battery power. As for the microphone, that has to be mounted to either side of the CB using supplied screws. Alternatively, the microphone can be mounted to the dash or any convenient location. Right here, as you can see, this little guy. Now there's 2 screws. I put it right here. This is the place that made most sense to me. I was thinking of putting it somewhere else where I can grab it, but this guy's kind of annoying, you know, the wire and everything. So I thought, now this is better. Just throw it right here. You can just slip it on, slip it off right here. It goes on like that. Take it off, blah, blah, blah. Put it back on. It's actually not as easy as I'd like to slip this thing in there. I mean, you just got to get used to it. But it slides out this thing. I wish it was like magnetic. But anyway, this thing slides in here like that. I attach the CD to the front of the CB. That's pretty much self-explanatory. It only goes in one way. There's a little notch that this pushes in, and then you just screw it in. I think you can figure that out. And then we can turn it on. Now, the way to turn this one on is this guy turns here. So let's turn it off. Snaps off. It's off. And it's on. And for this one, if you turn this to the left, I can hear some static. PF gain right here. Turn down. Turn this up and you'll hear that static. Now, if you don't hear the static, you may have one of these settings here that is, this needs to be off. That's a noise reduction thing, so you can turn that off because we want to hear the noise, especially at first. Make sure it's working. Make sure it's on CB, bright, dim. This is on normal. This is one, CH9 is more of an emergency thing. So here we go down to cal. Let's calibrate. And now we're going to check the antenna connection. Turn it to channel 20. Channel 20. Now we're going to key the mic here. And then we're going to use this cal switch here, WR cal. We want to turn it so it's right where that line, there's a little arrow pointed down at the far right in red. We want it right there, and then we switch up to SWR, and if it goes all the way to the left or far to the left, that's a good sign. And I tested this out by disconnecting my antenna and tried the same thing, and it didn't go to the left at all. It went all the way to the right. So I was like, okay, and then I connected it again and went back to the left. That tells me, okay, the antenna is working to some extent. Seems to be working, goes far to the left. The manual says do the same thing on channel 40. Okay, cal, button, go to the arrow and click it to SWR. It goes all the way to the left. We do it on channel 1. Cal, key it, move the arrow, SWR, and let go. I'm going to switch up to S/RF. And then we want the RF gain. Farther to the right is kind of like volume for that static. So I want to make sure I can hear that well. Although if you go too far to the right, I guess you can't hear them as well, but you can always adjust it. I just want to make sure everything's good. So I went all the way to the right here. And dynamic, I went to the right. So let's switch to one way to test it. On the main channel, you hear most of the highway talk is channel 19. But just to see if you can hear anybody talking on this, try channel 6. That's called the Super Bowl, and there's a lot of chatter on channel 6. So let's see what we got. Here we go. This one's the squelch right here, not the outside one that turns the thing on and off. That's just volume. The squelch right here. You go to the left. Counterclockwise will open the gate, allowing all signals. The farther you go clockwise, closes the gate, and now you only get stronger signals. You go all the way, you're not going to hear almost anything unless it's a very strong signal. I want to hear more, so I'm going to the left. Now there's something called desired squelch setting. It says to achieve desired squelch setting, turn squelch control counterclockwise until you hear noise. Now turn clockwise, and then turn clockwise until the noise stops. This is DSS desired squelch setting. But I want to hear guys talk, so I'm going to the left. Okay.
And I got a Sam in the Mobile downtown Delaware. I wave my hand. Oh, big deal. I'm not going.
Okay, so we can see we're getting some conversation here. So that's the squelch. Then you just go through the different things here to transmit. Obviously, not too hard to figure out. You take this, you hold this down. That changes to red. Testing 1, 2. Dynamite controls the microphone sensitivity. So initially set it fully clockwise so the maximum voice volume is available. You have the RF meter. That one we want all the way up after we've done our calibration and everything. The S/RF to the top there. Here's some plugs for external speakers. I don't have that. There's a PA option. I'm not going to be using that. And that pretty much covers the basics here. I'm not a CB radio expert at all, but I just wanted to put one in the van and see if I can get it in, and seems to have happened here. But I want to go to channel 19. I think 19 and 17 maybe are for truckers and for freeway use and things like that. So I haven't heard anything from 19. Looks like there's a little chatter going on, but I can barely hear it. And also, when I'm done using the van, I do need to turn this off because it won't turn off with the van. There may be a way to connect it to do that, but the way I connect it is not doing that, so I just have to, before I'm done. I don't think it'll drain the battery completely, but best to just turn it off. There you go. That's how I installed the COBRA 29 LTD Classic CB radio, and super excited about it. So let me know what you think down in that comment section. Maybe we'll put some more videos as I learn more about the CB radio and get into the hobby, okay, of CB radios. Okay, this is my first one that I've installed. I had that other one, that one I picked up at like a thrift store. I decided to go with a brand new one, and I like it so far. You guys have a great day. See you in the next one.